Oh, hey, what's up, dude?
What up, dude?
What's
What are what are you doing?
oh, dude, just being
Slow news
massively
cycle.
yeah. Slow news day. It's definitely slow news day.
Yeah, just wiping my tears and changing my underwear
I was I
because
was
I'm shitting
reading
my
uh,
pants.
I was reading The Athletic last night. I was just sitting on the couch and I was just sitting there, and there's multiple stories about everything that went on yesterday. And by like the third one, I was just sitting there reading. I wasn't like sad or anything like that, but I just felt like just one slow tear. I don't know if my eyes were tired or if it was just 20 plus years of pure pain leaving the body. Just one slow tear went down my face as I was reading the story. Um,
I I felt just this is a weird, eerie feeling yesterday.
mhm.
Pacing back and forth through the apartment pretty much all day, looking at my phone, reading every article, tweet, video, and then I think when it really started to, you and I have prepared ourselves for this for almost a decade, it seems, dude. It has
Right.
been forever. You and I we were tailgating in the Coliseum parking lot in probably 2009 or 10.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I remember
Was
we
that the
played this.
high game?
It might be because in the parking lot, I won a shirt that said stay.
Yep, that was that day.
That was, dude, that was like 2010. That
Hmm.
is 14 years ago.
Yeah, you,
This is
myself, my
not
sister,
new.
we tailgated to that game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is not new, but my point is, even last night, knowing all that we know and being as prepared as we possibly could be over the last over a decade, uh, when I thought about being an A's fan for the last 25 plus years, as long as I can remember, since that infamous 1997 T-shirt giveaway game that you and I both attended, the 30th anniversary. Um, the knowledge that we have of the A's, the following of the farm system, the back and forth about the Coliseum, the hope to one day bring a championship to Oakland
Oh.
and celebrate there and be able to tell everybody I told you so.
Hmm.
Yesterday, I thought about that and I said, it's never going to happen. Now it is for sure never going to happen.
It's never gonna happen. I'm in a lot of pain. Thinking that like it's just never gonna happen. That just wanted to rub it in all those Giants fans' faces that were just talking all that shit for all those years. And I was like, you just wait. We're gonna hold on strong with this team, and it's going to happen. It
Mm-hmm.
will happen. And yesterday was just the like, oh, it's actually over. Um,
Yeah.
and yet, like you said, we've been preparing ourselves for this for years. But remember last year, we were preparing for them to. They're going to announce Vegas. They're going to announce Vegas. It's going to happen. They're going to move to Vegas. And I remember when I saw that tweet, it was like 10:30 at night. I had to be up at 4:30 for work, and I just saw that tweet, and I just sat on the couch crying. I was like, "Why am I crying? We knew this was going to happen. Why? Like now that it's like official, like it just stung and it just hurt." And I had a lot of those same feelings yesterday when they announced. If you don't know, the A's, this is the final year in Oakland, and they just signed a lease agreement with the Sacramento River Cats, a AAA stadium, to play there for 3 years, maybe a fourth before their stadium in Las Vegas is built. And so, about a week and a half into the season, we have found out that this is the final year at our beloved Oakland Coliseum. Um,
Yeah. Welcome back to
it
Car
hurts to
Tenant
say,
Confessions.
yes, yes.
It hurts.
This is not our normal happy-go-lucky episode of us riffing and ranting. This is a
We'll get to the riffs. We'll get to the rants. Right now, we're a little run down. It has been a
I'm
long
hurt.
24 hours.
Yes, it has. Um,
So,
God,
like you just said, yeah, that was the news of the day yesterday. 2 days ago, it was hinted. Well, I'll back it up. At the start of the week, we knew that they were meeting with Oakland.
Yes.
on Tuesday. And what we also knew was that, and we'll get into who we want to blame, everything else, we'll get to that. But to recap, we knew that there was going to be an offer on the table from the city of Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
And then we knew that there would be a meeting with Sacramento. I think that might have came out on Monday or Tuesday, that the meeting with Sacramento was literally the day after the
The
meeting with
day
Oakland.
after. I'm like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound good.
Oh.
And then that night, a Sacramento radio guy says they're finalizing a deal. I'm like, but they just had a meeting with Oakland like 2 hours ago.
I was like,
what do
who
you
the
mean?
hell is this guy?
Yeah, who the hell is this Carmichael Dave?
This radio guy knows more than like the beat reporters who are on this shit and like the national reporters and everything. So I have a hunch about that. I think that it was either the A's or Vivek Ranadive.
Yeah.
Not sure how you pronounce the Kings owner's name, but we'll just call him Vivek. Either Vivek's team or the A's PR team definitely put out like some embargoed emails and the press release to Sacramento media. But I bet that radio guy, bet you that radio guy was one like, oh, I'm supposed to keep this on the hush? Yeah, fuck that. And he's like, I'm going to be the one that breaks this shit.
I'm going to break it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he did. And that's why you don't just give any radio people an embargo. But anyways.
Right.
But good for him, because we found out ahead of time. We were able to prepare, I guess. Wednesday comes around, and that was the meeting. Nothing really changed. And then you see people like Casey Pratt tweeting, everything that I said yesterday still stands.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right, nothing's changing. What are you preparing us for? And I think Wednesday night, Carmichael Dave, Sacramento radio guy, was basically putting the news out there, tweeting the news out there without an official announcement. And then, Thursday morning, the news was all completely out there. And the move to Sac is happening right away as soon as this season is over. What are some of the details of this move? They start with a funny one. They're not going to be the Oakland A's. They're not going to be the Las Vegas A's. They're not the Sacramento A's. They're
Athletics.
A's. Athletics Baseball LLC.
Yeah, that's, I mean, good. I mean, fine. That's fine, because like, I don't want them to be called the Oakland A's while they're playing in Sacramento. Like,
and what we've learned today was they actually filed for a trademark for Sacramento A's, but yesterday they said they weren't going to be called the Sacramento.
I think that's standard procedures,
so that no one else uses it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, the A's. Here's my thing. If you're that confident that you're going to Vegas, and that this Vegas stadium is happening, and that you are going to be the Las Vegas A's, why are you not just the Las Vegas A's then already? Name yourself the Las Vegas A's, get started on it, start selling merch, dude. But no, you're going to be in Sac for 3, I'm betting on 4 years. There's no way.
I could almost guarantee 4 years. There's no way they're opening up 2028 in Vegas. There's just no chance.
The Tropicana is still standing as we speak. That has to come down first.
They're like, shovels hits the dirt in 2025. I'm like,
okay.
Well, I'll see that when I believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. Can't process anything right now. I'm so frustrated.
No. Yeah. I'm starting to get ticked off in real time. What's that? Oh man, what's that from?
If I hear another person say just a baseball team, I'm gonna fucking snap.
You ever seen Rookie of the Year with Henry Rowan Gardner?
Hot ice.
The pitching coach. Yeah, just spazzing. That's me right now. I'm ready to riff and rant. Here we go. Get ready. So what I was going to say is, that is what Giants fans and naysayers of Howard Terminal used to say in 2018, 2019. This is around the time where Kaval hops on stage at Jack London Square at A's Fan Fest and tells us all to our face, you are standing on home plate here at Howard Terminal, and this is going to be the view of opening day 2023. All right, it's 2024 right now. You guys never
You
fucking
guys are
got
leaving.
close. Yeah.
We are a
So
year after the supposed ballpark was supposed to open. They're not even staying here anymore.
oh, so
That,
yeah,
that was a
Giants
great
fans.
Cavill impersonation, by the way. That was a
Thank
fantastic
you,
Cavill impersonation.
thank
That
you, thank you very
fucking
much.
snake.
Yeah, fucking weasel.
Weasel.
I remember seeing the tweets in 2018 after that fan fest. I was so hyped, dude, and I'm
I
like,
believe. I
yes,
fully. Yeah, I believe.
finally got this guy. He got the Earthquakes of Stadium or whatever. He's from Stanford. He's this smart nerd who's gonna find a way. And
He was having open office hours where any fan could come in and complain or just talk to him. He
mhm,
was at every single game, and if there's ever an issue, you could just tweet at him, and he'd take care of it for you. He put up such a facade in the beginning. I'm like, wow, this guy really cares about us. They developed the tree house. They were polishing the turd of the Coliseum. Like, wow, this is actually going to happen. They got new video boards.
tweet
Nope.
said, "Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it." And I was like, "Oh, I mean, this is the most momentum I've ever felt. This feels so real, and I know
Yeah,
not to feel like it's real, but this feels real. So
it's
screw
still
you
real to
guys.
me.
You
Damn
guys are
it.
in denial. You're mad that we're getting a stadium. You're scared." Boy, was I fucking naive. God damn it. I fell for it again. I keep on falling for it. I'm done falling for it, man. I'm done.
Oh yeah. Well, now I'm officially done falling for it. I was still falling for it even after they announced the move to Vegas. I'm like,
I was
all they have to do is sign the lease extension in Oakland, and these Vegas plans will fall through, and they'll be trapped in Oakland, and something will have to. Oh no, something will have to happen. So even after they announced the move to Vegas, I still thought, oh, we still got this. They're still going to be in Oakland.
I appreciate that optimism. You know damn well that I've been a more than a realist. I've been
Yeah.
thinking that this was never going to happen, but I was still buying in 2018, 2019. And so yes, you were getting to how Cavill implemented these office hours. Yeah, we got the new video boards, which was a breakthrough at the Coliseum,
Just
man. We were still rocking
whoa.
with the black and yellow light
Hmm.
bright. Uh, then things start to get weird. Cavill starts doing these Giants hat trade-in things.
Hmm.
It's like, all right, he's trying to make like this rivalry thing a thing. He starts
Taking on
talking
the
about
Raiders.
Giants attendance numbers. It's like
Hmm.
getting all defensive about A's attendance numbers. So he starts pointing out
Yeah.
Giants attendance numbers.
Yeah, he was
He
getting hella petty like that on Twitter. I remember that now.
It was weird. Like, yo, we don't have a lot to stand on. You're running your mouth out here like this. What's going
Yeah.
on? It's like, okay, cool. Like someone's standing up for us, but you're also like
It's
not
also
being
very little
realistic.
brotherish. It's very little brotherish taking on the Giants like that,
It is
especially when they're coming off
so
of 3 World Series rings in the last 8 years at that point.
so little brotherish. And what else did he do? Oh, he hopped on a boat and they did this McCovey Cove takeover
Oh
during
my
an A's
God.
Giants game and made a big deal like we're the A's. We're gonna boat from Alameda to the McCovey Cove. Oh my god. So it was secondhand embarrassment, really. Like Cavill, you just got here, bro. And I know you're trying to make the A's look better and sound tougher, but you're just giving off little brother energy, man. And for
Yeah.
the last 6, 7 years, that's all it's been. And
Hmm.
it's been lies, deceit, and the weasel that is, to quote Ray Ratto, the oleaginous parrot, David Cavill, the truth comes out. And nothing was more clear of that than yesterday when, in an interview, Cavill talks about how the Giants were great partners in all this. the
Mm-hmm.
Giants, the same team that he was trying to talk shit about and troll and compete with. And he gave them so much praise in their AAA ballpark that they're great partners and they helped us find a way to make this happen. Just fuck the fuck off, dude.
Dude, come on, man. I feel used. I bought into this. I bought into Cavill. Just
We haven't even
I
got to
just
John Fisher yet.
no,
I just wanted to
we'll get to
slay
that
this weasel
fuck.
first.
That fucking weasel Cavill. I'm having a hard time forming words my hatred for this guy now, for what he's
Yeah,
ripping away from us.
so he does all those antics that are anti-Giants, and he basically
Hmm.
tries to troll them. And I remember it had to be like 2019 to 2021, somewhere in between that time frame. Damon Bruce, who was on 95.7 The Game at the time, was calling out Cavill, and one of them offered to have a debate,
A debate, which
a
is
live
always just
debate.
terrible. I'm pretty sure it was Cavill.
So I, yeah, I don't know who it was, but at first they were going to do it on the air, and Cavill was like, "You can come down to the Coliseum. We'll do it. We'll do it
That's
in the
right.
treehouse or something." And then he was like, "All right, well, if you pay my $5,000 like show up fee or donation to a charity, I'd be glad to do it." And then I remember that Friday, that was when the A's were coming back home for a homestand, and then it just kind of dissolved. Nothing ever happened. And
That's
I
right.
was like, dude, Cavill's all talk, dude. He was never gonna fucking do a debate. He's
All
such a little
bark, no
bitch.
bite.
Mm-hmm. And that was all about it was, I think it stemmed from everything that was going on with the stadium and him calling out
Hmm.
San Francisco, and Damon Bruce sniffed it out and made him look stupid. And ever since then, that's all he's done. He's posted tweets from a Las Vegas Knights playoff game during an
Yeah.
Oakland A's game.
Yep. Now
I
this
remember
is
seeing that
playoff
on Twitter.
atmosphere.
Yeah, my heart dropped. I'm like, "Oh my,
Oh
you didn't
God.
just post that." So
Yeah.
the writing's been on the wall, and the real colors have come out. But yeah, the used car salesman of Dave Cavill, I am so ready to get rid of him and just get out. Get
Get
out.
out of
So
my get out of my life forever, please.
and if you scroll through Twitter, you see different takes. You're going to see mostly anti-Fisher, anti-Cavill, but then you see some that are like, people have their own agendas. They want to throw the city of Oakland under the bus
Hmm.
still. And I'm so far from that. Like, the city of Oakland had no chance in keeping the A's probably for the last year,
Yes.
at least. There's nothing they could have offered except for maybe free rent at the Coliseum to be able to keep them for the next 2 to 3 years. So if
Right.
they're going to go, then go on,
Go
like,
on.
pack your shit and go. Why are we giving you a free ride? And if you really want to stay, well, you could help us out by giving us $93 million because our city needs it. But if you're going to be going, you're not helping us out anyway.
Yeah.
So that offer that Oakland gave on Tuesday, I never thought was actually intended to try to keep them. It was more so like you're not going to accept this, but if you if you really are going to just squat here at the Coliseum, you need to pay big bucks. And
Yeah.
yeah, they didn't do it, but I don't look at it as, Shang Tao overshot her
Not at
opportunity.
all.
No, they weren't trying to really keep the A's because the A's were never trying to stay.
Right. And so I was reading an article last night in The Athletic by Marcus Thompson, and he
Yeah,
sums this up perfectly
great.
right here. Great article. He sums up perfectly. He goes that, we're talking about Oakland. People are like, Oakland lost all three of its pro sports teams. They ruined it all. And he goes, and this is a quote from the article, he goes, Oakland didn't lose 3 teams. Oakland lost the Warriors. Oakland let the Raiders walk and get their free bounty in Las Vegas instead of assigning another bad deal. Oakland stood up to the A's and simultaneously bent over backwards for them. The city did everything feasible to grant the A's what they wanted, including trying to secure the funding the team requested for the fantastical Howard Terminal Stadium plan, while not being willing to budge on what matters to Oakland. And this is the first time like I completely have the city's back on this.
The knock on the city for the longest time, and which is crazy because the A's only really negotiated in good faith with Oakland for since 2017 or something like that. It wasn't.
Yeah.
There was San Jose, there was Fremont, there was a ton of shit before that. It was never Oakland. So the funding that was needed, people were saying like, oh, Oakland doesn't want to pay for it. Oakland doesn't want to pay for it. Well, yeah, Oakland, like other cities we're seeing now, Kansas City doesn't want to pay taxpayer money for a billionaire's stadium. So if you got anything from Oakland, that would be great. And what did Oakland do? They actually raised like $500 million to fund this shit, to help fund it. And when this was happening, when the plans for Howard Terminal came out, they were so grand.
Yeah. It went from just a stadium to a fucking mini city on the water.
Hotels, residentials, parks on top of the stadium.
You can't get over the parks on top of the stadium.
Parks on top of the stadium. This was an extravagant plan, and what we questioned was, I think the A's are putting this thing together. It's so unattainable that it's going to make it look like Oakland can't follow through with it or hold up their side of the bargain. So the A's will be able to say, see, Oakland can't do it. See, Oakland won't pay for it. See, this is why we have to leave.
But it was almost the exact opposite. It was the Oakland showed up and they gave their part of the deal. And then the A's were like, oh yeah, no, we can't do this. You guys aren't doing enough. See, we tried here. We can't do this. And we're like, what do you mean? You came up, instead of just doing $1 billion stadium, you tried a $12 billion mini super complex, and that you can't afford, John Fisher, because you are broke. You little broke bitch boy.
Such a bitch
boy.
Beach boy energy. And the one great unknown, it would be a big what if. What if COVID never happened? Because when COVID happened, the price of just all that material and planning, everything that's associated with the cost just skyrocketed. And so what Oakland was going to give originally was then like the percentage of what that covered was reduced. Then they upped it even more to like, all right, well, yeah, we get it. Shit costs more. We'll give you more. And yeah, it moved the goalpost. And of course the A's used that as a way to say that that Oakland wasn't giving enough, but you were never going to get a fully paid off stadium and plan by the city. You have to pay for some of it. And originally, Kaval said
privately owned, privately financed stadium.
Completely privately financed. An intimate ballpark. And we're going to do it in at first it was Laney College with no sign off from Laney at all.
Laney's like, what the hell? We're not doing this. They didn't just think about building at Laney College site. They were like, this is our location. We're going to choose to build here. And Laney's like, no, you're not. What the fuck?
Laney's like, no. I'm literally standing here. What are you? Where are you building? And so privately financed. Well, guess what? He lied about that.
Surprise.
Mm-hmm. And you have an owner who says that he did everything he could to keep the A's in Oakland. Hey, it's not, what's the quote? Let me pull it up. Here's John Fisher, quote, verbatim, "It's been a lot worse for me than you." That is his quote to Bob Nightingale of USA Today. Or it's written by Bob Nightingale of USA Today, but it was John Fisher to 3 protesters at, I think, the winter meetings.
Yeah, something like, yeah.
It's a lot worse for me than you. Okay.
Bro.
Man, I feel real bad for you, you billionaire prick who wants to move the team from Oakland with daddy's money,
Right.
mommy and daddy's money.
That reminds me of Vivek when they asked him, like, "Oh, when did you guys start talking about this?" He goes, "Oh, there's not like an exact date or whatnot, but John and I, we're good friends. We both have houses in Cabo." I'm like, oh, you do now.
So that's how these things get determined.
Mm-hmm.
When
just
dudes are
chilling at your guys' houses in Cabo together. Mm-hmm. But it's a lot harder on you than it is on us that this team is leaving.
East Bay families, some, it's not perfect out here, and people don't have the Raiders. They have a Coliseum to call home, and that is our team. That's the only team we have. And but no, it's harder on you. Okay. Because you want to go put up your art in a stupid armadillo dome in Vegas. But on the way there, you're going to spend 4 years in Sacramento
in a minor league ballpark with
10,
no amenities.
Seats.
10,000 seats,
but
4,000 grass seats.
Yeah, but they'll say it holds 14,000 because you can sit on the grass. Because that's what we want. We want to get we want to get mud butt sitting in
mud butt
sitting in the grass. The only positive at all that is now the guys who want to go up to like the third deck and get dome can just get it under the tree out in right field from their date. Like, you want to get topped up, now you can just do it in the grass and still get a great view of the game. So,
I saw something. They were like, opening day, the A's had the lowest number of like 13,000 so-and-so people. They're like, yeah, that's still about 800 shy of a sellout at the Sacramento ballpark.
So Fisher and I think Kaval took a couple interviews. Vivek took a few interviews. Fisher didn't take any.
As soon as he finished his statement, he was gone.
One of the things I would have asked is, all right, so if you're playing here for the next 3 years and this place only holds a maximum of 14,000 people, what happens if you make a playoff game or a playoff series or a World Series? You're going to have maximum 14,000 people at a World Series game?
I didn't think of that because the team's going to lose 100+ games for the next 3 years.
Yeah, totally. It's like, we don't even need to present that. Yeah, but that's what we're operating under, is that we aren't trying to win. We aren't trying to go to the World Series. We aren't trying to make the playoffs. So it doesn't matter how little our stadium holds over the next 3 years.
Imagine a home playoff series at that ballpark?
Someone needs to ask that question.
They couldn't do it. Yeah, because what if they say, like, what about playoffs? And how
you're not trying?
Supposed to yeah, how they, like Kaval and Fisher and the A's, they can't just say, "Oh, we're not worried about that." You can't say that.
Exactly. Everybody knows you're not trying, but you would have to actually acknowledge it now. Otherwise,
I didn't even think that is fantastic thinking, Rick. I didn't even think of that.
So, we got until 2025 until they're in SAC. I doubt we ever see Kaval in the Coliseum again.
Oh, yeah, no, he can't show his face there.
How do we get to him to pose this question?
I'm not blocked on Twitter yet, but he won't respond.
I've been trying to get blocked by him ever since.
I've been seeing your tweets. It's a lot of "fuck you, Cavals," just really trying to get blocked there.
Everyone got blocked. Everyone got
Why
blocked
can't
for
I
like a
get blocked?
week, and I can't get blocked. I think because he realized he started to get shit for blocking everybody, and then he stopped. And I was just
Then he
late to the
turned off
party.
comments for a while, and then he just recently turned them back on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Casey Pratt asked him in person in Sacramento yesterday about the replies being turned off, and he just completely avoided it and was like, our focus is on.
I haven't been able to watch those interviews yet. I don't.
I've
I
only
will
watched a couple.
eventually. I can't. It's gonna hurt too much to hear that fucking snake talk.
So
Yeah,
I want to
shout out
get
Casey
into
Pratt for having to endure all this.
Yeah, good point. There's Casey Pratt, Brody Brazil, and Brody's kind of under the gag order almost because he's
As is Dallas Braden. I just watched a little clip of them doing the pregame right before, and so Jenny Kavanaugh was talking about the move and out of the Coliseum, and Dallas is really, because he's also under that gag order, but he's very real and all that. So he's like, I'm here with you guys. I'm gonna DM me, talk to me. I'm here. I'm hurting just like you, as somebody that's grown up a fan in the Bay Area, gotten a chance to play for this team, been now being the voice of the team. He, like you just tell in his voice, he's hurt. I listened to the podcast Baseball is Dead. They had to cut it off like 30 minutes in just because Dallas couldn't really speak because they broke the news live during the podcast. And so, I feel for Dallas because he can't truly say publicly how he feels, to an extent. I feel for these guys that are enduring all this.
Yeah, Brody wasn't on the pregame for the A's today. I mean, he usually hosts the pregame with Bip Roberts, and it might be nothing, but it just so happens that last night he was putting out his YouTube videos explaining the move. I haven't watched that yet, but he wasn't on the pregame today. I feel like it's only a matter of time. I mean, these guys got to be itching to say what's actually on their minds and what they're not allowed to say.
Another thing we haven't touched on yet is a lot of these people are going to lose their jobs at the end of this year.
Yeah. Unless you are willing to go work at a AAA ballpark in Sacramento and then go to Vegas also. I mean, that's just not in the plans for some of their families.
What happens to somebody like Dallas Braden? Does he follow them to Sacramento? Does he follow them to Vegas? Or do the A's just want a fresh start in Vegas? What happens in that? This isn't even talking about everybody that works at the stadium.
Mm-hmm. So for Dallas, I would not blame him if he stays, and I totally get it if he goes. I'll use the Raiders as an example. There's guys like Lincoln Kennedy who played for the Raiders, had love for Oakland. I guess he's a little different from Dallas because he wasn't from the Bay Area or the surrounding area, but still he had love for the fans big time. He would come say what's up to the Black Hole every time he had pregame introductions. Dude, he's coming up to the Black Hole and high-fiving us. But he's a sideline reporter for the Raiders for many years in Oakland and was on their broadcast team. And yeah, he went with them to Vegas. And I don't condemn that at all. It's your choice and it's still Raider Nation. So if Dallas, I mean, it's their job. It's his livelihood. Dallas is probably capable of finding something else, but
he used to be on ESPN.
And he has the Baseball is Dead podcast. Everybody has their own view on, where is the line on my self-respect and where do I quit and say, fuck you, I'm not taking this anymore.
Yeah.
The players, people in the NFL and the NBA request trades all the time. How come can an MLB player request a trade because they're disgruntled? You don't really see it often in baseball.
No, you don't.
But the writing is on the wall here. If you are Zach Geloff or Mason Miller, someone who has probably 5 more years of team control on your contract.
Yeah. they
and
do.
you are just getting your career started. You have made the big leagues. You are making a name for yourself. Mason Miller is a stud. He came out of the bullpen the other day throwing
Heat.
gas.
Gas, dude. I like Mason Miller.
Don't have the
Damn.
stats on hand right now, but I know he struck out at least a few guys in, over his last couple outings. Untouchable. Geloff starting to make a name for himself too. Had a really, really good year last year. Those guys are under team control for like 5 years. The next 3 are going to be in Sacramento in a AAA park, and then it's Vegas. Maybe it might be 4 years in Sacramento. They don't get to free agency until, what is it? At least 5 more years, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to be fighting for
2030
each of those 3 years before that. So you're going to be in a AAA park fighting for arbitration, still not with a long-term contract, because this is just how the A's work. They don't give out long-term deals. They wait till the last second or the year before the last second to trade you. Why not just request the trade now? And
get out. Just let
say,
me
hey,
go.
you
What
guys
doing
are
to me?
putting me in a AAA park for the next 3 years while I'm trying to fight for a long-term deal that you're not going to give me. Just trade me now.
And,
I would like to see someone set the precedent, and let's see what happens. But
then there's a player publicly going against its team like that, and it's the good old boys club of the owners, and they're like, okay, cool, we won't fucking sign that guy. Then we got your back. We got your back, Fisher. They supported Fisher through all this. I guarantee you, like, oh yeah, we won't sign Geloff.
29 owners agreed to waive a relocation fee that would have paid them big time. They said no.
That's the most crazy thing, because these guys are only one track mindset, which is money, and they literally just turn down money, which makes me believe, like, my whole thought process on this. I'm like, all these owners in their mind, they have to think, if we support Fisher through this, and the commissioner, if we just support Fisher through all this, we could get away with anything. We will get everything. When we need stadium renovations, when we need this, we need that, and we don't want to pay for it, we know that we could get away with it because we supported that guy through this.
Their little frat club just looks out for each other no matter what. So the Brewers, the Diamondbacks, the White Sox, all these teams that are sprinkling out that they might leave too, or they're going to start looking at other things. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. This is so gross.
And so going back to that,
there will be a city that will take them. There will always be a city. They're like, yeah, we want a pro sports team. We'll initially pay for this. Yeah. Nashville,
White Sox
Portland,
and Nashville are
Vegas,
like being thrown out there.
That would be terrible. That's so disgusting to lose the history of the White Sox that have been there since the beginning.
The owners are a bunch of old dudes. Who knows how much time they have left on their lives. So is that why they kind of like fast-tracked the A's to Vegas? Because they want because that gets to expansion quicker, and they would get more money with expansion fees?
I think they get more money with with 2 expansion fees than one
relocation fee.
Broke ass A's relocation fee. They're like, fine, just go already. Just move so we could get more money from expansion. You're
because the longer the A's stadium takes, remember, the A's and the Rays have to get their stadiums figured out before expansion can happen. So the longer the A's saga goes on, the owners don't get paid for expansion. So
and
that has to play into it.
How happy are the Rays right now? We're like, thank God we're not part of this conversation right now.
Look, we're staying. We're only going across the way here.
We're dropping our renderings now.
Who knows where this takes us? There's 2 quotes also still that I want to get into from yesterday. One's from Vivek Ranadive, and the other one is from John Fishfuck Fisher. As I was pacing around the apartment yesterday, furiously tweeting, Fishfuck Fisher just came out.
So frustrated you can't come up with a good chirp at all. It's just fish fuck.
Fish fuck. You fucking fish fuck. So the quote, I'll start with Vivek's quote because Fisher's is just a doozy. I'm going to save it. Vivek's whether it was a slip of the tongue, whether he wasn't supposed to say this, or he's just, talking out his ass. He said something along the lines of like, yeah, they're looking for 2 expansion teams, one in the East, one in the West, and probably in California. He said something along those lines to a reporter on the record. And it's kind of what we always figured, right? If they're going to expand with 2 teams, why wouldn't one be in the West and one be in the East? Nashville's been thrown out there. Charlotte, kind of. Montreal, kind of. And then in the West, if the A's don't go to Vegas, Vegas would be the number 1. Portland's been trying. And
Salt Lake City's been in the books, I guess.
Yeah. Sacramento, Salt Lake City. And my hope, it's probably not going to happen, would be San Jose.
That would be nice.
It would be such a great city for MLB expansion. But the blocker, which has been the blocker for years now, since like 92, is that the Giants have the
media rights
to the San Jose territory. And if you go back and do your homework, the A's let the Giants have the San Jose territory in order to keep the Giant, or I think originally it was to get the Giants to the South Bay market. That's what they were going to do. Giants end up staying in San Francisco, but that agreement stayed in the clause that they had the rights to San Jose. So the A's fucked up there big time back in the day. And ever since then, it's just been that way, that the Giants have owned the South Bay market. The A's couldn't go to San Jose. Why in the hell have the A's tried like multiple times to do San Jose when they knew it wasn't possible?
Don't own it. You guys don't own that land. You guys don't have rights to that land. Why do you keep trying to make...
I don't have the answers for why Fremont didn't work out. I don't know.
I don't know about... But also, that sounded just terrible.
It sounds great if it happened now.
Well, now it would be a dream.
Yeah, it's right there.
It's right there. But
before
I remember that was during the time of when the Angels rebranded their name to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, which was just the dumbest shit ever. And that's when this whole Fremont A's were taking place, and we're like, oh yeah, the Fremont A's of Oakland, like this is so stupid, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, fuck, this would be pretty sweet right now if we had the Fremont A's of Oakland.
I'm definitely guilty of bashing the Fremont A's of Oakland, and
I am too. I absolutely am.
Man, if only that happened. So, yeah, Sacramento is the gateway to Vegas, I guess. And we'll see. We've never trusted it's never to be trusted what the A's say they're going to do, because they never they never do the plan. They never execute the plan. There's always these different things that happen. Anything. Yeah. And so the incompetence and just the utter stupidity of John Fisher, it doesn't shine more clearly than it did yesterday when he said this quote, and I think you have it pulled up, so I will let you.
John Fisher goes talking about playing at this AAA ballpark, minor league stadium, and I quote, being able to watch some of the greatest players in baseball, whether they be athletics players or Aaron Judge, watching home runs out of the most intimate ballpark in all of MLB for the next 3 years. He couldn't name a player on his own team. He's like, I can't wait to watch players hit home runs like Aaron Judge. Who's the guy that hits home runs?
Aaron Judge.
Who the fuck's on my team? I don't know.
Who's going to hit a home run here? Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge.
Who's going to be the attraction here?
Oh, that's right. Other teams' players are going to be the attraction because I've abandoned this fan team, the fandom, for so long that I won't have any of my own fans for my team. I'll have other teams' fans pay me money because I've swindled my own fan all my fans for so long.
Our team sucks. So, yeah, Aaron Judge is going to hit a lot of homers here. Great job, John. Good job, John.
Good job, John. Good job, John.
You're doing great. No wonder you never face the media. No wonder we never hear you speak. You're an idiot.
You're a fucking moron.
No wonder you had to write down the names of Mark Kotze,
Tyler Soderstrom, and Zach Geloff.
Tyler Soderstrom. Why was Tyler Soderstrom written down on that?
Do you still believe in Tyler Soderstrom?
This was an interview that he gave not on video and not on audio to Raj Mathai of NBC Bay Area. And this was, I think, during the season last year. And all there was like staged photos from inside his house of the interview taking place. And even in one of them, you could see Catherine Aker, the A's PR person, like in the background. But the damning photo is the notepad on the table in front of John with those three names written down, like as if he had to have that ready to go because he doesn't know. If somebody
mentions a player about his team, he goes, well, I'm excited about these guys.
Mark Kotze and Tyler Soderstrom.
I'm surprised Mark Kotze in parentheses it didn't say manager or coach.
Yeah. He thinks he still plays for them. So yeah, Aaron Judge is what people should look forward to. So you got Manfred saying, oh, A's fans, you guys could just root for the Giants because they're right there, even if the A's leave. And then you got Fisher saying, yeah, I mean, you got Aaron Judge coming over here, so you guys should come watch that. If you want to just be a neutral team and not even have a fan base and you are just an attraction for opposing teams, right? Yeah, I guess just start saying that because that's what you are and that's what you're going to be in Vegas too.
Do you know the team name that the Globetrotters always played?
The Washington Generals.
The Washington Generals.
That's
We're
what
basically
they are,
the A's are the Washington Generals.
Are
We're
they
there
the
to
same
just
color?
Yeah, they are. They're green and gold. The A's are the Washington Generals. Just, have your stars come in, beat us up a little bit, make you guys look all good and all that.
Just
so deflated.
Sulk.
Just, the A's are the Washington Generals. It just hit me.
Yesterday, I was like, what is worse than pathetic? Because the A's are pathetic. But what is worse than pathetic? And so I had to think about it for a little bit. I even asked you, but
you did.
I figured out my own, and I have a theory.
Mm-hmm.
My own is you guys are humiliating. The A's are humiliating. You guys consistently bad PR, bad planning, bad execution, lie, look stupid, and lose consistently. You guys are humiliating to us, to you, to your families, and to the brand of baseball. You are humiliating.
Humiliating. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
I'm like, does Kaval and Fisher have some like weird fetish where they're like together and they send each other out? All right, you go this time and you're going to go out there and you're going to go humiliate yourself. Yeah, I'm going to get off on that. Now it's your turn. Now you go humiliate. It's public humiliation, dude. They have a fetish for public humiliation and it's sickening.
It's sickening.
And I'm pissed off.
I am pissed off, man. I am hurt because then the more I thought about it and I start thinking about the memories that we had, and I hopping on Bart, going to the game, walking across the bridge with a Modelo, sitting in crappy seats, drinking a beer, sitting in the sun, shooting the shit with you, watching our favorite team play. And then I go back even further and I think about going to games with my dad and all, like my dad and I, we didn't connect on a lot of things growing up, but we always had the A's. We always had baseball. We always had the Coliseum. So even to this day, whenever my dad and I talk on the phone, we're like, what's new in the world of baseball? What's new with the A's? And it's been really depressing the last couple times, but like, I just remember the joy that I had going to games with my dad and the memories that I have. And it pains me knowing I can't bring the people that I love to the Coliseum to go and like try to just give some of the joy that I got as a kid. I can't bring the people I love to this stadium and have them get the feeling that I had, which was seeing a ball game at the Coliseum, walking on the first deck concourse underneath the concrete, hearing the echoes of that place. Um, and it pains me to know that like it's over. It's it just
Let's
hurts. It
go
sucks.
Oakland, echoing through the concrete at the Coliseum. The
It
drums, the vuvuzelas, the rattling
it
of
was
the cowbells.
yeah, man. It's that place is. I get it. People are like, oh, that place is a dump. It sucks. I'm like, yeah, it was. But like, it's what we
Mm-hmm.
grew up with, and it's what we love. Like, we knew it wasn't great. We knew all these other ballparks were something else, but like, there was so much history in that place, and I have so many memories of going to that ballpark, and it's been ripped away from us. And knowing that like this is it, and there's after this year, like it's all gone. And like it'll eventually be like cherish the memories we had there, cherish the times, celebrate the times. But like right now, I can't because I'm just hurting.
It sucks when you think about like other people. And I think,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like you said, memories with your dad and me too. Like that's one thing, me and my dad aren't going to go do a lot of things together, but we can go catch a ball game. Like that's easy.
Mm-hmm.
And, or like the, throughout our teenage years, like dates to
Mm-hmm.
fireworks games.
Fireworks. Yeah, we each took a girl to a fireworks night and got to go down in the center field, and we brought the blanket, and
It's the ultimate move, man.
it's the ultimate move. You lay back on the blanket, you watch fireworks in center. You're on the field.
When
You're
the
on the
lights
field. It's
go
go
down
down
in the
in the
city.
city.
Just a classic move.
Even though that song was about San Francisco, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it.
Little brother
But that
energy, right? Am I right?
little brother and but if you've ever been to an A's fireworks night, doesn't matter the theme of the fireworks show. Every single time started with that song.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I mean, there was like East Bay hip hop fireworks night. That I could go on how many cool
hmm,
fireworks themes there were.
yes,
But that was just one aspect of A's games that was different from the others. You never heard about Giants fireworks nights being
no,
cool. I don't even know if they let them on the field until like years and years later. It was always the A's fireworks nights where the Coliseum was packed. And
packed.
that is, when I think of the memories that are stripped away from other people and like kids growing up right now,
They're
especially
not
in
going to get
this,
to experience it.
yeah, dude, like Sundays, kids run the bases. And I saw a
Hmm.
video in my phone back when I was on the herd, and I just like filmed all these kids like running the bases and the joy and the families that
Yeah,
were with them. Even like Simeon's kids and Stephen Vogt's wife and his kids were running, and it's like this hits now. This is hitting different.
yeah.
This sucks. The
When
people
in
who
the
worked there,
summertime.
like I could already think of three people that are no longer with us that I worked with at the A's. Like
Hmm.
this really old lady who worked like the front desk at the office. This one security guard who was a war vet. He was from New Orleans. I used to chop it up with him in the outfield when I was a mascot. This one security guard who kind of patrolled the lower bowl. Like these are people who that was their job, man. And there's so many like families and currently right now that rely on paychecks because of A's games
Yeah.
and just taking away something that we're never going to have anymore is
Hmm.
just gut wrenching.
It is. I remember during the summer, like, school's out, and when I was really young, I would my neighbor would watch me during the day. Andy and Danny's mom, Lori, she would watch us during the day, and Wednesday was Dollar Day back then in the mid late 90s and early
Mm-hmm.
2000s. It was Dollar Day. Where can you go to you could take six kids somewhere for very inexpensive? It was the Coliseum on Wednesday day games because it was dollar tickets and then dollar hot dogs. And then I remember like just going to those games with her and all the kids. Like we just got to run around and be kids for like 3 hours at a game. and
Yeah.
and then when we got into high school in the summer, and we were like, oh, let's just take the bus to Bayfair BART and then take BART to the stadium, and we could get in for $2
It was
and
so
let's just go
clutch.
watch a game. And
How close the Coliseum is.
we were
2 stops away, dude.
2 stops.
And you just walk right over the bridge. And
I have no reason to ever get on BART ever again in my life.
for real.
um, God damn it, dude. It's
Like the moments from, I think I mentioned before in the pod, like Steinbach breaking a luxury box window over my head on a home run to like a Marco Scutero walk off to Mark Mulder throwing a complete game in under 2 hours. I saw that with my dad. It was like a gloomy Sunday. Like, bro, those are things I cherish from my childhood, when like my dad would just like walk through the door and be like, hey, I got 2 tickets to the game tonight. And like I had no idea we were going to an A's game that night. And all of a sudden when he comes to pick me up at my grandma's house, we're going to an A's game. Like that was the greatest. And
dude, I wanted to do this like as a top 5, like later down the road, like our top 5 like A's games that we saw in person. But like it can't just be a 10-minute segment for 5 different occasions. So like I wanted to just do like, just for one episode each, we just talk about a game that we experienced, so we could talk about it for like 10 minutes. And then like one that just came to my mind, I don't remember the game that well, except I know how it ended. It ended on a Milton Bradley walk-off. My dad and I went to the game really early because we're at that point where we like to get there as early as possible to see batting practice. And we're just sitting down the left field line. We're there so early. It's around NFL draft time, and this is the year. God, was this the year the Niners drafted Patrick Willis, I believe, because he's a 49ers fan. So he's sitting there reading the newspaper. I know. He's sitting there reading the newspaper while I'm down the left field line trying to get like at batting practice. And there's a ball that's hit right at me. There's like a kid in front of me. There's just kids on like the railing down this left field line. And this ball's coming, and it's coming, and it hits the palm of my glove and drops to the field. I was about like 13, 14 at the time. And I'm like, God, I'm glad nobody else was here to see that. And then there's like a few kids from middle school or high school that were there. And I just hear, Paul, you suck. Like, oh no.
People knew you from school and they saw that happen?
They saw that happen. I played baseball with them. They saw it happen. And I'm like, oh no. And so later on in the game, my dad and I were sitting first deck, first base side, about like 10 rows above the opposing team's dugout. And there were these 2 old ladies that were sitting in front of us. And there was a foul ball hit to the left side down the line, back right where I was standing before the game. And the kid dropped it. And the 2 old ladies in front of me, she goes, oh, it was just like that kid that dropped it earlier. And I'm like, there is no fucking way. My dad starts dying laughing at this. I was like, there is no way they were here early enough to saw me drop that and then recalled it. And then maybe 45 minutes later, Milton Bradley wins it on a walk-off home run. So like that's a memory that I just have that memory at the Coliseum. And
talk about cool.
I'll always have it, but like there'll just never be new memories there.
Cool celebrations. Like now it's all about bat flips and shit. Milton Bradley's was really sick. He would he'd launch the homer and then he'd just start undoing his batting gloves. He would just that was great.
I liked Milton Bradley a lot.
Me too.
I really liked Milton
Bradley. He had
Bradley.
like this knock on him from, was he with the Dodgers or Cleveland before he was on the A's?
He was with a lot of teams. He was with the Dodgers. Yeah.
And then we got him, and it was almost like acquiring like if you were to acquire like not to this extent, but like when guys have this label on them, like a Rodman
Mm-hmm.
or a Draymond, like, oh yeah, they're good, but good luck dealing with them.
Good
And
luck. Yeah, good
so
luck dealing with him. He was great.
he was great. We had Chavi, him, and
Mm-hmm.
Frank Thomas as the 3-4-5, and they're
They all went back to back to back in one game. Yep. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it.
yes, they did. That was so sick. I loved that team. That was the 06 ALCS
Man.
making team. The only time a John Fisher owned Oakland A's team made it out of the ALDS. Here's a fun fact.
Go on.
The A's have only won two playoff series under John Fisher. So that's since
One was the
2006.
2020 season. Jesus
Yes.
Christ.
The first year he owned the team, or maybe second. Did he own it in 05?
Yeah,
Somewhere around there. So we'll just say the first year he owned the team, where they won the ALDS against the Twins, and then they lost the ALCS versus the Tigers. So that's one ALDS that he won. And then 2020, a wild card
shortened
series,
season.
a 3-game wild
season.
card series against the
only
White
had-
Sox. You've won 2 series, and really, it's only one. It's only one real series
Right.
since 2006. Fisher.
Dude, this hurts because we just had
Embarrassing.
pure excitement talking about Milton Bradley and the Frank Thomas, Eric Chauvy, Milton Bradley back to back. We just went into autopilot mode being fans again.
Yeah.
We forgot for about 45 seconds what was happening to us. And then you come back to reality and you're like, oh, I feel that pain all over again.
Well, isn't that being an A's? That's a microcosm right there. That is the whole thing of being an A's fan, is you forget what is actually taking place. You forget that Sonny Gray isn't here to stay. Nick Swisher is not here to stay.
God,
Miguel
that's
Tejada
right.
is not here to stay. Josh Donaldson is not here to stay. Matt Chapman, Matt Olson, Marcus Simeon, Sean Murphy.
It really sat in with Chappie and Ole. I'm like, oh man, these guys are fucking great. I'm like, oh yeah, he's gone. They're gone.
How many times over and over again, like, we knew these guys weren't staying, but we tried to convince ourselves, well, these guys are going to be the ones that they keep because this is too good to break up. It's not like we only have 1 or 2 guys now. We have like 5 guys now. So
there's Marcus Simeon. You got to keep one of them.
And they're young.
Oh.
That is the whole experience that we've ever known of being an A's fan. And like, for people who don't understand it because they're from the East Coast or they're a fan of another fan base, I can't totally knock them for not understanding it, but that is the experience. We try to forget what is actually happening. If we could just win the World Series this 1 year, maybe it'll change everything.
One time. Just one time.
One time. And that is never going to happen now.
It's never going to, it's over.
Yeah. But I did like that excitement, and let's try to keep that because, yeah, it's so easy to get into Debbie Downer mode here.
Yes.
Absolutely. Rightfully so. But you mentioned top moments at A's games. We almost talked about this, I think, on another pod, and I'm talking about Mother's Day 2010.
Yes, let's you know what? Let's get into it. This is
well, technically
here we go.
We weren't there.
We weren't there.
So let's rewind. Why weren't we there? Because we were there the day before.
We were there the day before because, as a gift from my mom, it was one of those Costco gift cards for 2 free Plaza level tickets. It was like $50 and you get 2 free tickets to any game excluding Yankees, Red Sox, Giants, any good opponent. And so Rick and I was like, oh, Rick and I could go to a game. We use this gift card to take you to a game. And then let's look at this game like, oh, let's just go this Sunday. And we were really about to go to this Sunday game. And before we bought the tickets, and we're like, oh, it's a giveaway. Like, oh, it's Mother's Day. We probably shouldn't go to this one. Our moms wouldn't be too happy if you and I went to a ball game on Mother's Day without them.
We're good
So let's just go
sons.
to this set. Let's.
We're gonna be with our moms on Mother's Day, and
Yes.
we'll go to the game before that, and then we'll spend Mother's
Let's
Day with our moms.
let's go to this game on Saturday where I believe the A's won 3-2. Ben Sheets was the pitcher the day we went, and he threw like 6 innings or 6 and a third innings, something like that.
It was a great game.
That statted. It was a good game. We won. We're like, this was a great game. Let's
Couldn't
go.
have worked out any better.
Yeah, we got to see the A's win a game for free, basically. Like, hell yeah.
And didn't you have to go to work the next day? I remember texting you.
So I didn't see the game.
May 9th, 2010.
May 9th, 20. Yeah. And so, we celebrate Mother's Day on Sunday and whatnot. And I'm sitting at this time. I'm living with the aforementioned neighbor Lori. We're staying at her house, and I'm sitting in my room, and I'm just chilling, watching TV. And Lori knocks on the door. Yeah.
That's always the response as a
somebody knocks on your door. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want?
And she goes, oh, hey, I heard you saw a perfect game. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you and Rick went to the game and you saw a perfect game. I'm like, no, I didn't. That was not a perfect game. And she goes, I could have swore the A's threw a perfect game. I'm like, whatever, Lori, you don't know.
Yeah. Idiot.
Basically, yeah, it's just 19-year-old Paul. Whatever, Lori, stupid.
Yeah, looking at her, so stupid.
I turn on Sports Center, and right away, Dallas Braden of the Oakland A's throws a perfect game on Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That pose, it's embedded in my head because I saw it on TV instead of in person because of you, Mom.
I missed it completely. I didn't even watch it.
Yeah, because we just went to the game the day before.
Yep.
It's a great story.
It's a great story. I want to tell it to Dallas Braden. Yeah, they won. I want to tell that story to Dallas Braden.
Mm-hmm.
Because what a magical game that was for him to throw a perfect game on Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
There is one that I've been meaning to bring up to you, and we have not discussed it. I think it was 2009, and after you mentioning the Milton Bradley walk-off, it popped into my head. So you and me and a friend go to a game. We sit second deck. And
yep. I think this was during the week of games.
Yes, it was. This was during the week of games.
I was thinking about this
where we
one
went to a game every single day for a week. And back then, like you were saying, you mentioned dollar days. We had Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk Pepsi cans that got us into the stadium for, what was it, $2?
$5. I think it was $5.
Okay, yeah. So you get really cheap tickets if you bring a Pepsi can with the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk coupon on it. And as we're walking across the bridge, one of the, we'll call them vendors on the on the BART bridge there at the Coliseum, sees us walking with our Pepsi cans and goes, he already knows why we have them. He goes, cans don't work today, kid.
Yeah, cans don't work today, kid.
Yeah. Well, no, they do work because we've been coming to games all week and we've been using them. And thanks for calling me kid. Right. Anyways, yeah, that was the week of games, and this A's team was terrible, by the way.
It was bad. God, that team was bad.
Let me pull up the lineup.
So I'll do some more work with the memory with the week of games while you're looking up that lineup. Mm-hmm. Every day, Rick and I would drive to Bayfair BART. If you don't know what BART is, it's our rapid transit system. And the first day, we go to this parking spot, and all the parking spots are numbered. And we didn't know this the first time we did it, but we were parked in spot 182, which we're diehard Blink 182 fans. We saw them. We're like, oh shit, we're in spot 182.
Ooh.
And one day, I had some we would normally sit there, or we'd step out of the car and we'd drink a beer before getting on the bar train. Or we would, at that time we were really into 40s, including Mickey's malt liquor.
40s.
And I remember I had 2 room temp Mickeys in my trunk, and we sat there drinking. We chugged a Mickey's at room temp before hopping on the train to go to the game. And yeah, we did that for 5 straight days after we graduated high school, or it's like the year after we graduated high school. And one of those games, we went with our other buddy Eduardo, who was dating this girl at the time. He was supposed to hang out with her, but he decided to bail on her and go to the game with us. And he was like, I'll just leave early. I'll still make it to her. I'll leave in like the 7th inning or something like that. And it just so happened to be a close game, and I'll let Rick take it from there.
Yes. So I was going to say the lineup, but I'm actually going to just bring up the box score.
Oh, yes.
Let's just relive this infamous game. It is July 10th, 2008. So we're actually in high school.
It was right after we graduated high school. I knew it was. Yeah. We were like, we graduated high school, and we're like, before we go off to our college dreams and journeys, let's go to a week of games.
Dreams and journeys.
You mean before we dropped out?
Yes. And we're all working at Target, the 3 of us, and his girlfriend also worked at Target, so we knew her well.
Yep.
And this is great for Card Attendant Confessions. It just falls right into
this. Is I love this game.
What did I say? July 10th, 2008. So yeah, we it's like that super bad moment when they're all like, it's before they all go to college. So yeah, we go to an A's game together, and it is the Seattle Mariners visiting the Oakland A's. And the week of games, I think, was like Mariners and Angels almost the whole week.
Yeah. It was definitely, I think it might have been a 4-game set with the Mariners or something like that.
And the Mariners are pretty stacked. They had Raul Ibanez, Adrian Beltre, Ichiro Suzuki.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. On the mound that day was R.A. Dickey. Right. This game was scoreless going into the top of the 8th. On the mound for Oakland was...
And that's why Eduardo wouldn't leave. Eduardo wanted to leave in the 7th. He goes, I can't leave. The game's tied.
And he's on the phone with Tanya, like, throughout. Like, dude.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Eduardo
You're not on the phone.
Yeah. We told him, like, you got to get off the phone. And he goes, I got to go. And he just hangs up on her at the game.
I think he was sitting on the opposite side of you. So I was, like, on the other side. I'm just thinking, like, dude, get off the phone, man. You don't come to a game to be on the phone with your girlfriend. So
he hung up on her.
This was a day game too. This is a Thursday day game. There was over 15,000 at the game.
At a Thursday day game in July.
In the Coliseum, yes. 74 degrees. Beautiful
day. It was a beautiful day.
I have no idea who this is, who started the game for Oakland and threw 6 innings of shutout ball. Greg Smith. This has to be a typo.
Generic ass name.
This has to be a typo on Baseball Reference.
Who is that?
I don't know.
I don't recall that at all.
Ziegler came out and threw the 7th, and
nice.
Santiago Casilla, who I don't think went by Santiago Casilla at the time.
Was he Jairo Garcia then?
He had to have been Jairo Garcia, but they've probably retroactively changed it on Baseball Reference. He threw a 3rd. Blevins threw 2 thirds, and Alan Embry came in, and then Houston Street. But let's go get into the lineup, because this game will always forever be remembered for one player.
Absolutely.
The lineup was Mark Ellis at second, Ryan Sweeney. Another name that I just do not remember, Wes Bankston at first base, went 0 for 4 that day and hit
that.
Third.
Has to be a typo. That has to be a typo. Who the hell is that batting 3rd in our lineup?
Is some like hacker group hacking into Baseball Reference and like changing names? Cleanup was Jack Cust at DH. Other
Jack
names
Cust
in this lineup were Carlos Gonzalez in the outfield.
Oh, young Cargo.
Another one, dude. Catcher Rob Bowen. what the hell was up with the 2010 A or the 2008
That
A's?
that team stunk.
Shortstop Donnie Murphy and third baseman Jack Hanahan. This team
Oh my
stinks.
god.
But as I alluded to earlier, it was scoreless going into the eighth. Casilla gives up a run in the eighth, and it's 1-0.
Ugh.
And then
It's over. It's
oh, it's
over.
over. Yeah, yeah. Alan Embry gives up another run in the top of the ninth. This game is over. It is 2-0. The A's fans that we keep the faith. We're there till the final out, no matter what. But this game's over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this game, it's over. Oh, before you get into that moment, remember, we got on the Jumbotron that game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You, Eduardo, and I think it's like the 7th inning or something. We got on the Jumbotron.
Which never really happens.
No.
And
but
so
go on. We're down 2-0.
We're down 2-0 heading bottom 9. We have Jack Cust leading off.
Oh.
He hits a deep drive into right field for a home run. Jack Cust makes it 2-1. We're like, okay.
All right, okay. We're alive.
Get off the phone, Eduardo. It's 2-1.
That's what I think it was, the Jack Cust home run. You're like, get off the phone, Eduardo. And he just hangs up on her again.
So Brandon Morrow strikes out the next two guys, and it's up to catcher Kurt
over.
Suzuki, who might have been pinch hitting here because he didn't start the game. And he hits a game-tying home run into left field to make it 2-2 in the bottom of the ninth.
Oh, my God, with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth.
We're jumping for joy in the second deck. We can't believe it. We can't believe it.
Oh, my God.
10th inning comes and goes. We are now in the bottom of the 11th. Jack Cuss strikes out swinging to start the inning.
Tanya has been waiting for Eduardo for a long time at this point.
Guy was already
it's bad.
Yeah, had his girlfriend calling him multiple times during the game. Now we're in the 11th. That is one thing you don't want to happen.
He was supposed to leave in the 7th, and they go to extra innings.
And we told him, dude, you're not leaving. You're staying.
You can't leave.
Off the phone. And so the next batter with 1 out in the bottom of the 11th is someone you have probably never heard of unless you're an A's fan. And even if you are an A's fan, you probably still don't know this guy's name. But this game is the Emil Brown game.
The Emil Brown game.
And after getting on the Jumbotron, after telling our buddy to stay, we're in the bottom of the 11th.
Basically, your relationship's already over. You might as well stay.
Exactly. And who is the hero of the day but Emil Brown, who hits a walk-off yacker into left field, and the good guys go home happy.
Oh, my God.
And
I
we
remember
go
as
to
soon
college
as he hit that
and
Yeah.
live happily ever after.
Until this moment, now that the A's are leaving us.
This might have been the greatest game of all time.
Oh my God, I forgot that it was a Jack Cust and Suzuki home runs in the 9th to tie a pinch hit bomb by Suzuki with 2 outs in the 9th to tie it is insane.
Houston Street through the 10th and the 11th and got the win.
Wow.
Incredible. Yeah.
Wow.
And I
remember as soon as Emil hit that walk-off, we celebrated for like 2 minutes, and Eduardo's like, I gotta go, and he just takes off.
Just like, yeah, all right, whatever, man.
Yeah, go.
That game put the A's at 50-42 on the season at the time.
Wow.
We were 8 games over 500 with that lineup that I just mentioned.
And that team stunk.
We ended up going 75-86. We still finished 3rd in the AL West somehow.
Jeez.
Yeah, but no, I mean,
there was only 4 teams in the AL West at that time.
Yeah.
Astros weren't there yet.
Mm-hmm. I won't remember anything else from that season, but
No.
Well, the week of games is actually something that lives on with us.
Right. And I don't remember a lot from like the original week of games, but I will always remember the Emil Brown game.
Always.
Being the Eduardo Tanya fiasco game.
Yeah. That was just the icing on the cake. And yeah, what a time. Like they had a win. They won almost all of those games that week, and they had a winning
Yeah,
record.
I think they went 4-1 that week in the week of
We're
games.
17 years old thinking that this young hotshot A's team is going to do it.
Big Jack Cust fans.
That's one of my absolute favorite moments because, and it's because it wasn't really like it's not a Friday night fireworks game. It's not a
No,
playoff moment. It is just
it's
a
a random
Thursday.
Thursday afternoon game in July after we graduated high school.
Just three dudes wanting to go catch a ball game and drink
That's
40s
it.
in the BART parking lot listening to
We
Brass
were
Monkey.
chugging. We were just chugging 40s in the BART park, room temp 40s.
Bam, bam,
Bam, bam,
bam, bam, bam,
bam.
bam, 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 bam. Brass Monkey. That was always the
That funky
pregame,
monkey.
always the go-to pregame song. Right when we got to BART to chug the 40, you had to throw on Brass Monkey.
Yep.
That's how you got to do it.
Damn it, dude.
So the week of games was replicated a couple years ago with us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we sat behind home plate for
We did. That was actually one of my most recent favorite memories. Was the Skybolt walk-off sack fly while we sat in diamond level.
Yeah.
It was my birthday. My birthday.
That was against the Marlins, right?
Mm-hmm. It was against the Marlins.
We met John Birdie.
We sat. You got diamond level tickets for my birthday, and we walked right by John Birdie because to get to diamond level seats you have to walk where the players walk. And John Birdie walks right by us.
Opposing players have to just hate visiting the A's, whether it is the Coliseum with backed up sewage and having to walk right next to fans on your way to the field, or going to Sacramento to play in 100-degree heat where your family has to sit in grass and get swamp ass. Gotta love it.
Oh,
So
man.
yeah, that was a great game. And then even the year after, which I think it was last year.
Last year. It was last summer.
We didn't quite accomplish a week of games last year because I think we were too hungover.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Going to 5 straight games is a lot of work.
Salute to our 17-year-old selves for setting the bar and with a week
and
of
just
games.
getting drunk every single time off room temp Mickeys.
Mm-hmm. And so last year we didn't quite accomplish it, but we did sit diamond level again. And
it was another walk-off.
It was Brent Rooker.
It was a Brent Rooker walk-off home run.
Uh-huh. And there's a video, we'll share it on the Twitter, with it's
one of
us,
my favorite videos.
Yeah, behind home plate. We're singing Celebration. We had so much beer at diamond level. Like you get like 3 beer tickets,
3 free drinks. Yeah, you get 3 free drinks.
But
no, we just kept on bringing.
They just kept bringing, and I think they were free. Like the girl didn't care. Like she just kept handing us more beers.
So we just gave her like a 20 after like every 4 beers. We just gave her a 20 like after every 4.
Dude.
And so she's like, all right.
The people who
we had like,
we had
like local, 8 or 9 Modelo's each.
Yeah. Whether she's an Oakland resident or an East Bay resident, she doesn't give a fuck. Like she knows we're not here for much longer anyway. Like these guys are having a good time. I'm just going to keep feeding them beers. They're not hurting me. They can just give me a $20 tip. Mm-hmm. So the video that I have is all the beers lined up behind the wall of home plate. So, which is hilarious because if you're watching the game on TV, like, yeah, you see us behind home plate, but you don't know that there's like 20 beers lined up right behind the wall there of just crushed cans. And so it's all of those. And then it's us singing Celebration. And Brent Rooker's doing his post-game interview on the field. We're like, way to go, Rook! Atta boy, Rook!
Way to go. That same game, one of my favorite moments is, we celebrate, we give each other the high five. After that, we're celebrating all that. And we're sitting at the bar after the game because, we didn't have enough beers at the game. We go to a bar in Hayward and we're sitting there having a beer. And you're like, man, I got to tell you, I'm really glad you gave me a high five because I tried to give the old people a high five next to me and they just wouldn't do it. They didn't give me a high five. So I felt left hanging. And then you turn around and give me a high five. that night I'm laying in my hotel room and I'm just scrolling through Twitter, and Jessica Kleinschmidt she posts a video from the game of the walk-off, and in the very bottom corner you could see very small Rick and Paul celebrating, and you see Rick turn to the people next to him with the hand up going for the high five, and they don't do anything, and you turn to me and we just lock eyes and we get a good high five. I'm like, that is I was like, Rick talked about this, and then I go home laying in bed and I'm seeing the video like an hour later. It was amazing.
She absolutely ghosted my high five. It's a walk-off, lady. We're celebrating.
We're in diamond
you turn
level.
to everybody around you and you give them a hug or a kiss. I'm over here trying to high five you and you just ghost me like that. I feel like Tom Brady in that one video looking for someone to high five. So my right hand man, thank God you were there and you saved it. And it's hilarious that Jessica Kleinschmidt caught that on video.
No intention of catching that on video, but just the bottom left corner, right. You barely see us.
Yeah,
it's so amazing.
It caught the moment. See, it happened.
See,
great fucking times,
man.
Maybe we.
So now what do we do?
Well, there is so. Let me throw the two things out there. So we got till the end of this year, right, with the A's in the Coliseum. Mm-hmm. And I know you're going to be making your way up here for at least a couple series.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is attainable. A week of games, it's going to be tough.
I was looking at the schedule yesterday already. Later on in the year, there's about 2 stretches of week of games, but also July 5th through the 7th, I believe, the Orioles are coming to town, and I was going to bring Tiffany up for a series.
Oh.
And so I could show her the Coliseum and introduce her to mom and take them to a ball game, maybe that Sunday day game. So maybe Friday the 5th, get to that night game, July 5th against the Orioles.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
So yeah.
Show her all that there is to love about the Oakland Coliseum.
Again, I told you, I was like, I want to bring the people I love to share these memories, and I literally have 2 months to do it now.
Yeah. So there's that, and there's also the 9 for 9 challenge.
That's when, yeah. I don't want to do it that game in front of Tiffany, but I'll come up for a series.
Yeah, probably not the best thing to do in front of your girlfriend.
For those of you who don't know, the 9 for 9 in 9 challenge is 9 beers, 9 hot dogs in 9 innings.
Oh.
Rick and I thought about having that be a challenge or a punishment for the loser of Yackers, but now we both kind of just want to do it.
Right. I'm kind of like, oh, that actually sounds fun.
Yeah.
You got to
eat challenge.
Yeah, like 3 dogs before first pitch at least.
Yeah.
You wash that down with a beer 2 probably, and then from there you kind of
beers. I'm not worried about. It's the 7th through 9th hot dog that I'm really worried about.
Right.
Not the first 5 and 6. I'm gonna start getting a little anxious. 7 through 9 is gonna be tough.
I'm worried about the acid reflux and the gas. Oh, yeah. It's gonna be bubbling in there.
Coat my stomach with Pepto-Bismol before going into the stadium.
Mm-hmm. I think there's going to have to be some performance enhancers involved. Well, those dates to come, but I think that those are 2 attainable goals before we
absolutely
say goodbye to the Coliseum.
The final series, the final game, just so happens to be a random Thursday day game.
Oh, shit, it does. Versus the Texas Rangers.
It sounds so A's fittingly. It's not like some night game and a playoff push or anything like that. It's not the final game of the year. There's still a couple games after that. There's still a road trip for the A's after that. The final game in Oakland Coliseum history is a random Thursday day game.
Sounds like we're going to have to be there.
Sounds like I'm going to need an Emil Brown moment.
Who's going to be this year's Emil Brown?
But no, I plan on being there for the final series. I have to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I saw the A's put out some email today that mentioned some of the things that they'll be doing to quote unquote commemorate the Oakland Coliseum. And one was a Oakland Coliseum, like mini model of it as a giveaway. And I think it is on the last day.
Whatever.
Yeah. More on that later. But, yeah, this started in complete remorse and disarray over what I've been feeling the last 24 hours and what you've been feeling, and us just going back and forth in text and being so frustrated. But boy, did that feel good to talk about some.
It did. It felt really good.
Great,
and I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to apologize for this hour and a half long episode. This was the basis of our podcast, was us being A's fans and working at Target. And so we somehow correlated both of that today. And this was a big moment for us. And I guess we could talk about, we did record on Monday. We ran into some technical issues and we basically lost the recording. So we were going to do a little 20-minute recap back on Wednesday. And then all this news started coming out and we're like, let's just hold off.
You say, fuck it.
And so we wanted to talk about this. Next week we'll do like a quick recap before next week's and like get into next week's episode.
Mm-hmm.
But we wanted today's episode to just be dedicated about the A's and what's happened and how we're feeling about it.
Yeah. And before we sign off, because the week is over for Yackers, we could end it with a little scoreboard recap.
It's not over for Yackers. I still have Saturday, Sunday for Andrew McCutchen to get a home run.
Well, no,
it's Monday to Monday.
And we haven't published since the week before. So the week before stands till now, right? The last published episode.
Yeah. Sorry.
So the last episode I picked, was it Matty O?
Yes, it was. And I picked Jazz Chisholm Jr.
Mm-hmm. And they both hit homers. So Paul is up 2-1. And so we can do you want to just redo the picks that we already had?
Yeah, we might as well keep your pick. Your guy already hit this week.
My guy already hit this week. I'm willing to, and your guy hasn't, but if you want to just refresh those picks instead of changing them, we could just extend it for another week. So Shohei Ohtani, who hit his first homer as a Los Angeles Dodger, and then Andrew McCutchen. I chose
Andrew McCutchen. Let's just stick with it, and then on Monday when we record again, we'll just do another one. So I have a few. Actually, the Pirates-Orioles game just started, so I have a chance for McCutchen to hit number 300.
Come on, Cut.
The home opener for the Pittsburgh Pirates on 4/12. That doesn't sound right. They're in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
They're not in Pittsburgh yet.
And it sounds like we're still undecided on the punishment for the loser of Yackers. So we will let card attendant confessionites offer their suggestions, and we will take recommendations, and we will figure out where we end up there. But as always, we tried our best, and
it's still real to me, damn it.
That is a good final confession, Paul. It is still real to me.
It's still real to me.
Yeah.
Damn it.
We will we'll see you next time on Card Attendant Confessions. Botch.
So long. Botch.